Hello and welcome to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, the Fat Jack. The weekend is here. It's championship weekend, college football. We're going to figure out who's in the playoffs. Gosh, I got to get Brandon in here really quick. Thank you for spending an hour of your day with us if you're out there listening, driving around, wherever you might be, because there's so many things to get to. This is one of those shows that we could spend 3 hours and not touch on anything, and that's if we hadn't had a great week last week. So go to fatjacksports.com, get signed up for this championship weekend. Let me bring in my co-host from Louisville, Kentucky, and we'll get this show underway. Mr. Brandon Rush, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. It is it's an exciting week because obviously you get championships galore. We find out who is actually in the playoff come Sunday. And then on top of all that, a stacked NFL card, UFC going this weekend, soccer going. Everything is exciting. At the same time, though, it's hard pressed to not sit back and be like, hey, this is just another day. This is another weekend. Just because there's championships being awarded, there's no championships being awarded for sports bettors on Saturday. So
see
calm
that
calm
right
yourself.
there. You can tell the difference between Brandon Rush when he wasn't handling the customer service call center and Brandon Rush when he is handling the customer service call center, because you're talking to literally about 5 jackasses right now.
Yeah.
When you say, can everybody just calm down for a second? Most people, and I always had to remind myself, and I know you're doing this, but I remind myself that you hear from 4, 5, 6 people out of thousands of clients.
Mm-hmm.
No news means happy news almost all the time.
Yeah.
And when you start getting the same consistent thing from 4 or 5 idiots that you know are probably never going to be able to win money betting on sports, you know you're doing something right. And that's what's going on here at the service. Go to fatjacksports.com. We won last week. Brandon, speaking of a few I don't want to put words in his mouth, but we got a few emails on Thanksgiving Day. Going 0-1. By the way, we had lost Monday. We won Tuesday. Nothing on Wednesday. We lose Thursday as an opinion. People decide, instead of hanging out with their family, instead of eating turkey and dressing, to go email Brandon at customer service like he, could do anything about it.
Sliding into the Instagram DMs. I mean, it was rough.
I don't even know what that means. And by the way, if you're out there listening to the show, if you're trying to get to me, I don't care about any of this. I'm not doing anything online through social media. You'll never get a response from me. You are speaking to either a dead wall or Brandon, who doesn't care and isn't going to be able to do anything about it. Most importantly, I would start before we talk about all the success we ended up having last week and how foolish the 4 or 5 people that reached out are or look now. I would tell you that first and foremost, we bet every single game that we send out. And I think that has to go repeated every single month, because people seem to forget. Maybe they don't care. I don't care if you don't care about that, because that's the most important thing. When you win, we win. When you lose, we lose, unless you're one of the people that are probably too stupid to gamble. And then you probably shouldn't be signing up for anybody. You should literally go eat turkey, play golf, go take up pickleball, go to the mall, whatever it is else, because if you're figuring out a way to screw up, you just simply can't stick with the plan. It's very simple. So after that Thursday, we go 0-1, have an opinion loss. We sweep the board on Friday, 3-0. We go 3-3 on Saturday, which isn't anything to write home about, but we've averaged 4-2 on Saturdays the entire year. And then we go 3-1 on Sunday. Another winning week. Doesn't count any of the other stuff. That's just football. Go to fatjacksports.com if you want to win. So the guy that reached out and talked to nobody, or Brandon, through one of the social media channels, he ended up winning if he just played all the stuff. So I'm going to chalk it up to there's 5 people out there that hate their family, got a dry turkey, maybe burned down their house with the fried turkey going on. I don't know what happened. I don't know exactly, but I have to think it's something more than the plays that we're sending out, because the plays we're sending out are winning. So if that's a good idea for you, go get signed up today. We have a great special we'll talk about here in a minute. Thoughts on all that, Brandon?
It's kind of like if you play craps, there's always like that one person that's like, come on, shooter, roll a 6. No, what do you think we're trying to do here? We know what we need to do. We know that, like you said, we're betting the exact same games that we're sending out as releases. We know if we won or not. We don't need a email or a comment from somebody to be like, hey, try to pick some winners. What the hell do you think we're doing here?
It's such
we're
a
rolling
small
6s.
percentage that you hate to give
really
them
is.
time,
It
honestly,
really is.
because it's just so many clients that are having success and 4 or 5 idiots that are definitely drunk. And decide to reach out for whatever reason. I don't think we're friends. We're not friends. I'm here providing a service that's going to make you money if you stick to it. I'm betting the same game. So when you go, the only difference is when you go 0-1 with an opinion on Thursday, I played the props. I played the soccer. I played the basketball. And more importantly, I've been playing it all year long. So if I lose a half a game on Thursday, I don't care about that because I won on Wednesday. I won last week. I won the week before. I won the winning weeks. It adds up. And so I don't overreact. Brandon doesn't overreact. If you're overreacting, it probably means you're doing something wrong. Go get signed up at fatjacksports.com. Let me give out the special we have going for championship weekend because it is a big one. We have about 2 or 3 of these a year, and they are very well received. They almost always make money. Now, I will start it with you're not going to get rich by this package, almost no matter what. Furthermore, you're not going to get all the plays. You're going to get the best plays, but you're not going to get all the plays. That's very important if you're trying to build profit. But if you're out there and you're on a budget, fatjacksports.com, $49 gets you 4 plays, top 4 plays on Saturday, whatever they are. They will be most likely championship games. Might have a basketball, probably not. Probably just college football. But 4 plays on Saturday, 4 top NFL plays on Sunday, and 9 player props on Sunday for $49. So a very good value. This last Sunday, I mean, I don't know what we did, but it was 9 games of profit in the players props alone, 8 or 9 on Sunday alone. You're going to get the top 9 prop bets along with the top 4 plays Saturday, top 4 plays Sunday. $49, fatjacksports.com. Click on packages. It's the first package on there. It'll get you into profit. If 5 out of every 6 weeks we win betting on football. You're going to win as long as it's not that 6th week, which it's not. We're going to have a great week this week. We almost always. I mean, I can't remember the last time we didn't win over this championship weekend. It's really not one of the more difficult weeks of the year. Going into bowl season, you want to build profit consistently so that you can maximize that as we head through. We are nowhere near finished with football. Not only do we have the playoffs coming up, but we have bowl season, we have the NFL playoffs, basketball, soccer, UFC, all those things. Longer packages, you're paying less than $120 a week. Just getting football through the Super Bowl is $899. So that's less than $100 a week. You have all of December, all of January, half of February for $900. You're not paying $100 a week. So those of you who love that $99 special, don't wait on that. Get through the Super Bowl and make money consistently. Brendan, I have a question for you, and then we're going to get to the games coming up this weekend. So I'm debating not doing a bowl analysis sheet.
Okay.
Understanding and admitting that the bowl season is different than it was 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ago, with transfer portals, with coaches leaving, with guys simply opting out for no reason, besides the fact that we have motivation and all those things. Now, are we going to make money during bowl season? Absolutely. We always do. We will this week. But giving out predicted opinions now for games that aren't going to take place for a month, I'm not sure what the value has become in that. Because you're not getting – guys that are opting out – Lane Kiffin is obviously the poster child of we're going to leave right in the middle of it and head someplace else. I think you have a different opinion on this than I do. We may get to that in the next segment before it gets too far into the past. But – besides that, you'll have guys opt out. They're not going to play. All these type of things. So I'll be able to handicap that. I'll be able to apply that, and we're still going to make money during bowl season. But giving something out on the 16th of December for games that for these guys haven't opted out yet and they haven't chose what they're going to do, I'm not sure what the value is there. So instead of that, I was considering, and I'd like your feedback. Instead of that, I'm thinking about doing more of a write-up and more of an in-depth delivery of things, and probably more plays for free, not added on the elite package or whatever, but on the playoff games. So the college playoff games. So instead of just Alabama,
the games that we know are going to matter, and the games that we know coaches and players are going to show up for, sure.
So a little more insight on how I come up with things. I don't do a lot of how. I learned this 30 years ago. Ultimately, nobody cares how. They care how many. They want to win, but they'll act like they care about how. If you give them something that they don't understand, then they'll wonder, well, how'd you come up with that? Well, I'm not throwing darts. I mean, same thing we've been doing for 30 years. But the how is interesting. And what numbers we're looking at, the math, the different things like that. And frankly, a few more bets, maybe some prop bets if they offer up prop bets on these games, giving some of those for free. So I've thought about more focusing on that going forward than the bowl analysis sheet. Your thought, and if it's, you think the bowl analysis sheet had a place, let me know, because I'm asking honestly.
Honestly, I don't know how many. I'm with you. I don't know if the value is where it was, say, 5-7 years ago, because it used to be that was, I mean, a not necessarily a Bible per se, but it gave guys a lot of insight, especially if you're in like bull pools and things like that. With that being said, I think you're onto something that the playoff has garnered a lot more attention and probably deserves more of your attention than, say, like the Bahamas Bowl, at least in terms of the time of actually putting pen to paper and saying,
and it's now,
here's
it's
why
not,
I like this game.
You're going to get the Bahamas Bowl. I don't even know if there is
Yes,
still a Bahamas
yes,
Bowl.
exactly.
You're still going to get it. You're still going to
Yes.
get the best plays in it. But I'm going to work on that the week before the Bahamas Bowl. A few days, not spend as much time up front. Here's what I would like. If you're a client out there, and I'll send out an email to everybody, but if you're a client out there and you're in bowl pools, I want to help you on these things. I want to facilitate that for you. So if you're on another package, let me know. If I get enough of those, I'll go ahead and work ahead, give you everything I've got, and that way I want to be able to help people as much as possible. I just thought about spending a little more time breaking down in the emails and giving a little more information on these games. So just a quick thought. So FatJackSports.com, $49 gets you all the games. Gets you 4 plays on Saturday, 4 plays on Sunday, and 9 players props. The longer packages save you a bunch of money. They're all less than $99 a week when you add when you play football and or football and hoops. Add those other sports, it's less than $150 a week. What jumped out last week, Brandon? What'd you walk away with from last week's games?
I mean, the A&M loss, I think, threw a large monkey wrench into a number of teams' playoff, at least, I can't say chances, but at least expectations. And you asked very early, who's in the playoff? I can give you 6 teams. Outside of that, can't tell you.
Oklahoma,
that one loss.
Teams?
Sorry?
Oklahoma, one of those 6 teams?
Brandon,
if they lose,
I would say I'm 75% yes, but I honestly don't know.
If Oklahoma out of the playoff, Brandon, I don't know what I'm going to – and this has nothing to do with – I've been the biggest critic of Oklahoma all year. But if you run through that schedule –
you go 10-2 in the SEC.
And you go 10-2 in the SEC, you are in the playoff if the playoff's anything. And I'm the first guy that says that Tulane, North Texas winner needs to get in. I believe the smaller schools need a spot.
Yes.
At least a spot, maybe 2. But I'm not – you cannot convince me that teams like Notre Dame that have no wins on their schedule belong in this thing. And that's what would have to happen. We would have to get Notre Dame and Miami both in. We'd have to – I don't know. And OU's kind of the threshold. I think they're not the last in. I think, that first in, last out they do in March. But I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's close. I think OU's in for sure. Texas is the first in, last out for me. That's where the debate begins. Do you value – how much credit do you give Texas going up to Ohio State, which they didn't have to do? And what does they look like? If they had played Kennesaw State in week 1 and they beat Oklahoma in Dallas and had the same amount of losses – now you've got a little bit of a conversation. Where I land on it, though, Brandon, and why Texas may not get in and why they shouldn't get in over Oklahoma is, yes, you can say the Auburn. If you start really drilling down with the wins and stuff, the kind of cheating play that OU did against Auburn where they ran the receiver on, he runs down. It was cheating. I don't care about it. That's cheating. You can't do that. They did. They got away with it. But if you're going to punish OU in any way for that, then you need to first talk to me about Texas losing to unranked Florida, beating Kentucky by 3 in overtime, and Mississippi State in overtime. And by the way, Georgia beat them by 25. It wasn't even close. So Texas' overall resume, I totally get the Ohio State. They didn't have to do it. That was out of conference, best team in the country. Blah, get it. But if we're going to start drilling down beyond that, and we're not just going to look at wins and losses, which apparently sometimes we're doing, sometimes we're not. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. What are we doing? Notre Dame has no good wins, yet everybody talks about eye test with them. They talk about Miami and how good they're playing right now. Who's Miami beat besides Notre Dame? there's teams out there that are flawed in their resume no matter what you want to look at. Yes, Oklahoma's offense sucks.
That's being polite.
But their defense might be the best in the entire country. And I don't know, anybody that's ever watched football before knows you win championships with defense. You don't even have to play even decent offense. You can play bad offense in college football and in the NFL and win, not just win a game or two, you win championships with the type of defense.
You can look at the Trent Dilfer era Baltimore Ravens.
Chicago Bears.
Very mediocre offense, but a generational defense, and they got championships
it's basically
to show
offense
for it.
goes out there and you say, don't screw it up.
Yeah, just
Go
if you get a first down and punt and pin them inside the 30, we got it from here.
And OU's not bad offensively. They're better than that. Now, no, they played horrible against LSU. By the way, LSU's nothing. That's not a good win.
Mm-hmm.
They're at home. LSU stinks. They don't have a head coach. Their head coach is trying to quit and burn down the buildings at Ole Miss. And, so I get that's not anything to hang your hat on, but they won. That's all that seems to matter. If we're talking about all these teams with their wins and losses, that's all that matters because we don't care who you beat. How's Notre Dame in this field? How's Miami, Florida in this field if we care about who you beat or how you won? And Oklahoma beat a bunch of teams you should care who they beat. So FatJackSports.com, I think OU gets in for sure. You're right. Anything else jump out last week?
I mean, Indiana held serve. Ohio State found a way to finally win at Michigan, although it was sketchy for a bit. But they kind of, in the second half, I really kind of controlled that game. But I mean, and the NFL, buddy, we need to have a serious conversation about Carolina and the Chicago Bears. It's December, and we are talking about them being relevant. The Bears are the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. Wild.
You know what? I bet a lot of money that neither of those teams are around in February. But you're right. I mean, they're getting it done. They're beating the teams in front. Everybody like, so you only beat the teams you play. Well, yeah, they're doing that. Chicago, it's turnover margins still. They are getting better. The big question in the NFL. We talk about this on the TV show again. Who's the best team? Now you have the Rams that go on the road. They get beat. I still think it's the Rams. And by the way, they're still the favorite to win, and they're a heavy favorite to win the Super Bowl. The Rams are. And then there's a pretty good sized drop off after that to actually Seattle, who's moved up into second. 9-1 with Seattle. 9.5 to Green Bay, who has lost 2 or 3 guys. This is the most wide open at this point. We're not done, but at this point in the season, this is the most wide open this has been, especially because of just last week the Rams lost. But wide open it's been. There's not a clear favorite. You can get almost 5-1 with anybody as we're heading into December. That's pretty good. Normally you have the Chiefs and Buffalo and maybe Philly or Baltimore. Those teams are like 3.5, maybe 4. You're getting better than 5-1. You're getting 9-1 or better with Seattle, Green Bay, Philadelphia, Buffalo, and Denver. So the normal cast of characters are still kind of up there. And then you got these other ones that we think might be pretenders, like Denver, like New England, that just seem to do nothing but win. Both those teams are doing nothing but winning. And at some point, we have to look up and say, all right, well, you know what? The other teams are not doing that. So very interesting stuff going on in the NFL. Again, we could go more than an hour on this show. But before we do break down the first of these playoff games, FatJackSports.com, $49. Get signed up today or save money with those longer packages. $49 gets you. You don't have to talk to anybody. It's emailed to you. It's on a personal portal on the website. The minute you sign up, you're going to get information, including the recommended betting guide that's going to tell you exactly what to do with these plays. So don't wait. Get signed up. Four games on Saturday, 4 games on Sunday in the NFL, and 9 player props for $49. I'll run this about twice a year. Get with your buddy. Get the plays. We win almost always when I offer this. We win. It's almost better when I maybe had lost the week before because I don't lose 2 weeks in a row ever. And we won last week. We were 9-4 last week in football. All the other sports won as well. So good time to get signed up. Good time to start winning. Let's look at these games, Brandon. So, and we're going to stick with Saturday's games. Which jumps out at you the most? Is it Georgia, Alabama, or you look at some of these other ones? What intrigues you?
I mean, Texas Tech BYU really is, to me, the kind of the most intriguing game because if BYU wins this, is Texas Tech out?
No, no, they're not out. They're not out.
Even given everything else that happened within the last week.
Brandon, if these guys have got to, Now, nothing's a given. All right,
Sure.
back to that Ohio State-Michigan game. The guy's fumbling the ball going into the end zone for Ohio
Which
State.
should have been a
I want to know
touchback,
when. I want to know when he regained possession. We should be able to ask these replay officials one question at least. Show me the point on this film where he regained possession as he's going into the end zone with his foot's not out of bounds.
Kind of felt like a makeup call for not ejecting the kid after headbutting a ref, but
And how in the world that works? That's not a thing. I guess my point is, stupid people are still in positions of power in this country, but there's no world, in my opinion, that Texas Tech's only loss this year is when their starting quarterback was out. Now, I guess the world would be their starting quarterback goes out with an ACL injury the first play of the game, and they get beat by BYU by 3 touchdowns. We saw this with the Florida State team. What was it, 2 or 3 years ago?
Yep. Starting quarterback goes out, and then even though they had an either undefeated or one last season, didn't make the playoff. Yeah.
So that scenario, I'm not going to be as angry. I'll be mad because I've got tickets that are going to cash tens of thousands of dollars.
Futures ticket. Yeah.
All they have to do is just get in the thing, and I'll make $20,000 probably.
Yep.
Even if they don't win a game, I'll be able to hedge back and make a lot of money. I've got an 80 to 1. I mean, come on. So that will upset me, but I would get it, I guess. I can't. I was the first to say Florida State did not belong in the playoffs that year without their quarterback. I get it. If he goes out and they get beat by 3 touchdowns, I don't agree with it, but I get it. But short of that, if they lose, even if they lose, let's say they turn it over 4 times and they lose, they still belong in. Their body of work is more than enough. This team is one of the top adjusted teams, efficiency rise in the country. Their defense is first or second in just about every category. And if you're going to put teams like Oklahoma in it, like Notre Dame in it, that have deficiencies one way or the other, Texas Tech gets in this game. And they don't have a deficiency on offense. They're just not as good as their defense. BYU's covered 6 of their last 7 games. They've won 13 of 14 games. And they are full of a bunch of old men with kids. So this is a mature team that's going to give a good effort for sure. Under the total, 5 of the last 6 December games in BYU. I think that's where I'm leading with this game. Texas Tech's covered 5 in a row and basically covered everything this year except for the one game their quarterback was out.
And absolutely dominated BYU when they played earlier this year.
Yeah, it wasn't even really close. Texas Tech 10-1 against the spread, their last 11 against Big 12 opponents. So I think that if the team doesn't get catastrophically hurt, they win. I don't love 13 is a lot of points against a team that's not going to quit. So you're going to get a team in BYU that's not going to quit. Not because when they quit they have to go home and babysit.
Change diapers. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not going to not quit because of that. They're not going to quit because they're older. They're more mature. They're not one and done. These teams that are one and done, I'm so interested to see how Ole Miss does in the playoffs because they lose their coach. They have everything else in front of them. They're a very good team, but how these teams play late in the games, that's where it's always interested to me. And I talked about this a little bit last week during my radio hits, when there were a couple of those games that were pretty close, and I said, now watch this game. Oh, it was Ole Miss and Mississippi State. I said, if Ole Miss is up anywhere more than double digits going to the 4th, they're going to draw off most likely because Mississippi State will kind of fold up 10th. That is a symptom of this one-and-done mentality, this pay-to-play mentality, that you don't get the heart and the perseverance when you're down late in games when they can kind of see the writing on the wall. With BYU, I do think you get that. You're going to get guys that are playing for, they signed up for 60 minutes, as Scott Van Pelt says. I think that matters. So under the total is where my first lean would be. That's your first free winner, under the total on BYU, Texas Tech. FatJackSports.com. Get signed up today. Make money this weekend. $49 special. 4 games on Saturday, 4 on Sunday in the NFL, and 9 players props for $49, or save money with the longer packages.
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer.
Before the ball is tipped or a shot is even taken, before the crowd explodes or history is made.
If you're going to bet, have a game plan. Bet legally, set limits, and keep it fun.
When gambling becomes a problem,
visit responsibleplay.org to find help.
Welcome back to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. And now here is our host for Championship Weekend. He is our champion handicapper. He is the Fat Jack.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Fat Jack Sports Hour, segment number 2. It's college football championship weekend. We're all going to have something to cheer about, to complain about, or whatever after this weekend. Put Thanksgiving in the rearview mirror, and hopefully none of you did any damage to your family over Thanksgiving that you can't undo, because we have a Christmas right around the corner. Fire up for that, or Hanukkah, or whatever you celebrate. So get signed up. This will make the holiday season better. $49. Get you everything. It's 4 college, 4 NFL, and 9 players props for only $49 at fatjacksports.com. I also had somebody reach out about gift cards or gift certificates for their loved ones. Absolutely, that's a thing. All you have to do is reach out to customer service. They'll have somebody reach back out to you. We have gift certificates that we send out to you, so you have something to put in their stocking or put under the tree over Christmas. And you can you let us know what the dates are that you want, if you want a month or you want the year or you want just the weekend of whatever weekend that is. We can tell you how much it is. We can get you set up ahead of time and get you the gift card out there, so you'll have something in hand to give them for the holidays. As I've said before, it's the best time of year. If you're the ladies out there driving around, if you are looking for something for the loved one in your life that gambles, this is the best time of year to get them the service, because it's a subtle way of saying it's not the gambling that I hate, it's the losing that I hate, and Jack will help you not lose. So this is the time. Any other time of year, it's like, hey, jackass, you're a loser at this. Love you, king. But you're a loser at sports. Let's quit giving our money away. Let's quit ruining our Saturday nights with you betting on Texas A&M when I know he's got Texas. And let's start building profit, so I don't have to tell you can't gamble anymore. I'm going to have to break up with you. You don't have to say that. This is a subtle way of saying I'm okay with your gambling. I just am not okay with your losing as much. Don't quit losing so much, and give a gift card, and that actually helps them. Teach them to fish. That's what you're doing at fatjacksports.com. You're not buying them a fish. You're teaching them to fish by turning to somebody that knows what they're doing. All right, Brandon, I'm already sick of the holiday commercials.
I had a holiday commercial. It was a Christmas commercial that literally made me cry before Thanksgiving. So I'm kind of in the same boat, but I'm curious to know why you are angry.
So there's 2 of them. Well, because of that.
Okay.
If I don't go to scary movies, because I don't want to be scared in my free time.
There's enough things in the world to scare a normal person as is, so I can understand why somebody wouldn't. Sure.
I have to look in the mirror after getting out of the shower every day. I get scary
Fair.
things all around me.
Fair.
So I get it. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to be scared in my free time. I don't want to be upset or cry or any of that in my free time during a game during the holiday season. I'm going to tell you the 2 commercials that have jumped off the page for me, and then you can tell me if one made you cry. You remember which one it is?
I know exactly which one it is.
All right, so let me tell you the 2 that I'm done with already, and we just started. Number 1 is I think the second one's going to be the one that makes you cry. But number 1 is the Chevrolet commercial where the family starts and they've got young kids. And then the kids get a little older, and they basically have this old beat-up, crappy Chevy. And they've driven the Chevy, and it's had all these memories. And the kids going to dance recital and not wanting to go back to college.
Right,
and you see the parents get older at the end. It's like, Chevy, a life full of memories. Listen, I've got kids that have gone through that. And I don't want to be reminded that some of those better days with those 2 people are behind us.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not making me want to buy a Chevy. I'm not any closer to buying a Chevy than I was before I saw those commercials.
It doesn't invoke a desire to purchase a vehicle.
It makes me want to buy a Dodge Ram.
I don't know those Dodge Ram commercials with Terry Crews singing or whatever that is.
And I don't want to. I might buy a Ford F-150 or something. They're normally in the mountains running over something, so that works. The other one that I don't like, and I'm sick of already, is the Amazon commercial with the 3 old women that are sitting on the bench because they're too freaking old to sled, and they get on Amazon, get the sleds, and then slide down like they're 25 years old again. I'm 55, turning 50. I don't want to. I already spent enough time dealing with my mortality. My kids tell me every time they see me how old I am.
Oof.
I should spend less time around my children, I think is the lesson here. They're pissing me off on all fronts.
coming off Thanksgiving and knowing Christmas is around the corner. That's a strong take.
I almost threw a glass at my daughter-in-law. I mean, she wouldn't have seen it coming. she didn't even know. She didn't even know I was irritated because I've done a good enough job.
You
I guess
masked
she's
it for
leaving
so
crap
long.
everywhere. There's a thing on the table. She walks by. I say, "Is any of this yours?" And she says, "Yeah, that glass is mine," and keeps walking. They're leaving in 5 minutes. Like I'm a maid, like somebody's a maid. My instinct was to pick it up and throw it at the back of her head. I didn't do it. I moved on.
You know what that is, Jack?
You know what I did? Do what?
You said, you know what that is?
That's
Growth.
Growth. Because you know what I did? I took the glass and put it in the sink. I took the Tabasco sauce that I don't even eat, and I put it back in the fridge. And I just took a deep breath and moved on. But those are the two that bother me. You got a commercial bothering you?
Mine's a Chewy commercial, the pet food and treat website that you can sign up for and they deliver stuff.
Yeah.
It's very much like the Chevy commercial with the kids. It's got this guy with this cute little dog and it shows the dog growing up. It was before Thanksgiving and I'm crying over I don't even have a dog anymore.
I turned the channel on that one, Brand. I can't. It's too soon.
That one's tough, man. That one hit me.
We're already preparing for Butter's death. I'm preparing. My wife is. There is no preparation. She's literally going to need so much medication. I thought when her mom died was bad. When Butter dies, it's going to be worse, I'm afraid. So, yeah, I can't even watch that commercial. I don't want to hear about it. It's the holidays. Let's stick to the point here. Let's stay in our lane. FatJackSports.com, that's our lane. $49 gets you 4 college, 4 NFL, 9 player props, or all the plays through the Super Bowl in all the sports. It's about $150 a week. Go get signed up today and win this weekend. All right, we talked a little about the NFL before the break. Let's quickly talk about Brandon. I'm so sick of analytics I can't see straight. Philadelphia is down 9 points against Chicago. They're down what? They're down 16. No, they're down 15. They score a touchdown, and this is with about 2.5 minutes to play in the game. And Philadelphia, so they cut the lead to 9 with an extra point or whatever coming up.
Yeah, 24-15 with 3:10 to go. They get a touchdown, and they decide to go for 2.
Somebody help me with that. 2.5 minutes to go in the game. And I, by the way, didn't have this play, so I don't really care from a gambling standpoint. Do care a lot from just a sanity standpoint. You're down 9 with 2.5 minutes to play. You go for 2. If you don't get it, which is we've already established is about a 50-50 hit, it's 2 possessions. So let's stop with you have as much to go for 2 twice as you do going for it once versus an extra point. Somebody's messed up the analytics or I'm missing something. I don't get it. Because if you kick the extra point, you're down 8. Now you just need the ball one more time with 2.5 minutes to play and 3 timeouts. If you don't get the 2,
which the Eagles didn't,
which we can agree are about the same percentage, you're down 2. So you have basically a 48% chance of giving the game away if you don't get it. If you say you get 50, if you 2-point conversion, you'll get 52% of the time. That's a 48% chance the game is going to be over when you don't get it. Or if you just kick the extra point, you're down 1. Brandon, help me. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I'm with you. In that specific instance, kick the extra point, you go down 8. And yes, you still need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game at that point. But yeah, if you don't get the 2-point conversion at that point, you're down 9. You then need 2 possessions.
How is
and
that,
you have to score on both those possessions.
How is that anything?
Bad.
It makes no sense at all. I don't get it at all. And these guys are the wins in the NFL are so valuable, especially when you're talking about this year. And you have teams like Detroit acting like they're playing fantasy league. Or playing on the computer, going for it 5 times in their own half and losing games because of it. Then the next week they turn around and did it 3 times and lost. They're giving games away that may or may not get you in the playoffs, definitely are going to keep you from a home field game. And teams that are down 9 with 2.5 to play with 3 timeouts are going for 2. Our pets' heads are falling off. I don't get it. So somebody explain that to me. I don't understand that. Who's the best team in the NFL right now, Brandon?
I mean, I think we both can agree that the Rams are, even though they come off a narrow road loss against a surprising Carolina team, to me, they probably are the most complete team in the NFL.
Who's second?
It's as much as it kills me. Is it Denver? I mean, that defense is very, very good. They're doing what the Chiefs have done over the last few years. I believe they're 7-0 in one-score games. So they're winning those close games that, they're sort of coin flips. Eventually that's going to run out. But
maybe. Yeah, we'll see. For the Chiefs, sometimes it runs out, sometimes it doesn't. The X factor about Denver that I don't think we give enough credit to is they're going to get better. On offense, Bo Nix is not a 10-year veteran. He's not Patrick Mahomes even.
Mm-hmm.
He is a guy with every start should get a little better. And this team does it just running the football. They don't throw it a lot. I think eventually they are going to get caught. I don't think this is a Super Bowl winning team, but they're the more interesting of the two. New England, I think, is an absolute fraud. I think we're going to see that the latter part of the season a little bit, and definitely when they get in the playoffs. They've played nobody.
Yep.
Denver, on the other hand, they played a little bit better schedule, and their defense, as you said, is very, very good. To the point that I think that they can kind of keep doing what they're doing. They stay ahead of the change. Everybody in the place knows, and I thought that the crew did a really good job this last week of basically saying they're going to run. It was, what's his face, the Dallas quarterback.
Romo, yeah.
Romo basically saying, it was him, right? Or was it Collinsworth? One of the two was saying they're going to run the same play every time.
Yeah, it was Sunday Night Football. Yes, it was Collinsworth. Yeah, but yeah. But I mean, when you can run the football and they don't have a stud at running back, they've got just a bunch of guys who can get things done, taking advantage of a weaker schedule than most teams. But man, their ability to win close games is impressive and should at least be celebrated in some way.
And they're getting the Raiders this week. That's
a win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure who the Raiders could beat right now. You know what I wouldn't watch it, but I'd love to see the Raiders play New Orleans. Who's the favorite in that game? Who's worse? Raiders or New Orleans?
I mean, New Orleans is playing a little bit better. Maybe they found their quarterback because it sure as heck wasn't Spencer Rattler. But yeah, they are a mess right now. But that's a team I think that'll get better because I think Kellen Moore is a great play caller.
Yeah, we keep saying that, and I think they're getting a little better, but gosh, they look lost at times. So that's an interesting one. But definitely Denver, a team to keep your eye on over the next few weeks. They should win handily. If they don't, I mean, it's so easy to get in that recency bias this time of year. We have so much data. Denver's been just living with the under, too. That's been another team, and I don't know how Vegas is going to score. So free winner number 2, under in that Denver-Las Vegas game. Under 10 of the 14 games this year, over the last year, a little over a year, Denver is to the under. Denver only 3-13 against the spread their last 16 against Las Vegas. So Vegas has been good, but no team looks more lost right now to me than Vegas. And it's not just the players on the field. The coaches, in my opinion, they're running when they should pass or passing when they should run. They look totally lost. And that doesn't work when you play a good defense. That's a 3-turnover type situation. So Vegas also has gone under 12 of their last 18 games, so 12-6 to the under. So you're getting about a 75% hit rate to the under just on these two teams playing each other. With one of these teams looking more lost than they have all year, you do worry about defensive points in a spot like this because you get Denver that should take the ball away some. And you're getting a low total. Everybody's factoring that in. It's indoors. You don't get any help from the weather as far as the under goes. Total's 40.5 or so, but under free winner number 2 in that Denver-Las Vegas game. FatJackSports.com, $49 weekend. Get signed up today. 4 NCAA plays, 4 NFL plays on Sunday, 9 player props, only $49. What else jumps out on Sunday, Brandon, that you're like, you know what, I need to see some of that?
Real quick note on the Broncos. They are 10-1 to win the Super Bowl, but their final 4 games of the regular season after the Raiders game this weekend, Green Bay, Jacksonville, at Kansas City, and the Chargers, all 4 teams that are going for playoffs. So we're going to find out a lot about Denver.
Kansas City going to the playoffs?
They got a shot, but I as it looks right now, I would say no.
Yeah, so they're not. Jacksonville, they're going to the playoffs?
I think they might win that division. I think Indy's come back to earth a little bit. Houston's still struggling offensively, so that's a possibility.
So 2-2 out of those 4. Do we still? How are we looking at Denver then? I mean, let's say they go
maybe 4, maybe 12 and 4, or 11, 13 and 4 because they're going to beat the Raiders. So
That's still
Probably the one
really
seed.
good. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll get the recency bias. So I guess my point is, if you want to bet Denver to win the Super Bowl, don't do it today.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. And I'm not sure that's the worst bet you could make. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm going to do it, but it's not the worst bet you could make because you do get the anatomy of a winning team in the NFL. Great defense, a mobile quarterback,
A competent coach.
competent coach. Yeah, a little more conservative than I like, but
Sure.
But still, I get what you're saying. So you get a lot of those pieces and a team that could get hot at the right time. Probably not the worst thing in the world if they'd lose one, especially a couple of close ones late.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to happen. So, yeah, Denver is something to circle, but don't bet it today. Let's wait till after the season because I do think they may lose at least one, probably two, maybe three of those, but it wouldn't rule them out. Just like with Denver, or just like with the Rams, you have to roll on to the next week. You can't really put a whole lot in what you saw last week, especially from a gambling standpoint. It creates opportunities because a lot of guys will bet simply based on what they saw 6 days ago. That is the worst thing you can do, especially this time of year. So fatjacksports.com, get signed up if you don't have to worry about that. Any of those plays go out, they're going to go to the clients. The clients are going to get them for free, included in their package. So if we start betting prop bets or whatever late and those type things, those are sent. You don't have to wonder whether you're on the right path or not.
This weekend, though, an eliminator game, Ravens Steelers. Also, I mean, Green Bay Chicago this weekend. Texans Chiefs is going to be a spectacular game, and then Monday night, Eagles Chargers. Very interested to see what the Eagles can do on the road after a pretty uneventful week for them.
Yeah, that's a bunch of big games. You know, we had Houston last week.
Yep.
They were one of the wins, and I would say their offense looks better. There's a few of these young quarterbacks that I just think are almost worthless part of the time. But the other part of the time, they're pretty good. And he's one of those guys that he makes some throws that you're like, wow, that's unbelievable. And then he'll throw it to the other team. Pittsburgh, I hate to say it, and this has very little to do with last week against Buffalo, and more just to do with the anatomy of their offense. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has never looked older. Mason, they were winning that game at halftime, and then literally 3 plays into the third quarter, they give a scoop and score, throw an interception, and the game's pretty much over because they don't have the ability to come back. I'm not judging the loss. I'm judging just the way this team is. And in the NFL, especially in the playoffs, you have to be able to overcome some adversity. And don't you feel like when you're watching Pittsburgh, it is one of those that please let nothing bad happen? Because the minute it does, they just have no answers on how to fix it.
I mean, it's like living with an aging dog. Like you just think, oh, wow, they're doing good today. And then they fall down the stairs and you think, oh, God, here we go.
You know, you're exactly right. So I think it's one of those deals that, that is an eliminator game. And Baltimore is one of those teams also. We expect them to get healthy. We expect them to be dynamic on offense, which they weren't their last out. But defensively, this is a team that had some problems before. So
they were awful in the first half of the year.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting time of year, and we've got a lot of teams to look at. So when we do get back from the break, I will give away an NFL free winner. And get people into profit with that as well, because we haven't given away as many free winners. Go follow us at FatJackSports on all the social media as well. I only gave away one free winner last week, but it was an easy winner. It was Thanksgiving. I wasn't feeling it. I didn't even know you were getting smoke in the DMs or whatever. I wouldn't know how to check a DM if I had to, but I just wasn't feeling it, so I just gave one away.
And it won by a comfortable margin.
Won by 100. Yeah, I mean, those have been easy. So, and that's free money to people. $49, 4 college games or 4 plays on Saturday, 4 NFL on Sunday, 9 players, props, $49, or those longer packages save you a lot of money and will get you deeper into profit. A lot of people taking advantage of those all sports packages right now. We have soccer going all week this week and over the weekend. World Cup coming up next summer. We'll have those discounted season-long, all of 2026 packages coming out the last week of December. So whether you're a client or you're thinking about getting something long-term, that is when you do it. So you can get something now between now and the Super Bowl, now and the NBA Finals, because we then prorate that back to save you the money or extend your day that you're due for next year. But those are the best deals. They're going to get you the best prices, the most plays, and into the most profit for the least amount of money. FatJackSports.com. Most importantly, get dialed in today. Don't miss winning weeks. That is definitely the bad thing to do. 9-4 with football last weekend. As I said, we swept on Friday, went 3-0. 3-3 on Saturday, and then 3-1 on Sunday. So we're dialed in right now. It's one of the worst Saturdays we've had all year at 3-3. Most of the time, 4-2 or better. So great time to get signed up. Great time to win. Brandon, Lane Kiffin.
LSU's a better job, but I don't hate that Ole Miss said no, you can't coach the playoff. I'm very much a guy I'm a ride or die. You're either with me or you're against me type of person. And if you're going to say, oh, I'm leaving, but I want to do this no, if you're out, you're out.
So if we were on Fantasy Island, I agree with you. Loyalty has a place in the world.
Absolutely.
I don't know that right now, as we're sitting here, loyalty has much of a place in college football.
It has zero in college sports at all. I agree.
And so then it becomes, and not just with the coaches, with the players, with the administration, with the NCAA, with everybody. Nobody cares about loyalty. That's not a thing. Yep. We can all admit that Ole Miss is not as good a job as LSU, right?
Absolutely.
It's like when Lincoln Riley left and went to USC. That's turned out to be a horrible decision. But at the time, if you're not from Oklahoma or you're not from Mississippi, and it's a little kind of apples and oranges because Oklahoma's a much better job than Ole Miss, certainly today, or a little bit better job for sure. But he took a better job, which is what he has a right to do, and he should be doing. The idea of coaching out the year, not coaching out the year, to me, and I heard Scott Van Pelt take the other side of this, and he said, if you're business and then you get poached by your competitor, and you're going to go to your competitor and you're going to take someone with you and that kind of stuff, or the family deal. I want to get a divorce, but I want to stay with you guys through Christmas, da-da-da. Those work in a world of loyalty. What I look at it like, if in this particular college football year, I think Ole Miss loses as much as anybody in this deal.
Mm-hmm. Not only are they losing a coach, but they're also losing their only opportunity, maybe ever, at a national championship.
Or at the very minimum, a year and a chance to elevate their program.
Yeah.
And they basically threw out the baby with the bathwater as far as that goes. They said, listen, you're either with us or against us, and you're clearly going to be against us, and you are going to poach players, you're going to coach coaches, you're going to poach all these people and take them with you, which was going to happen either way.
Right.
All Ole Miss did to me was prevent – then now we'll see. Maybe they go into the playoff. Maybe they win a couple games, and that's incorrect. And this new guy who's on staff right now, he's able to spin this and say, listen, we're still here. Come play with us. We're going to beat
Everybody's
LSU.
against us. Yeah.
LSU stinks. We're great. We made the playoffs. We're going to keep doing that. They're not. He's not all that. Maybe that happens. But if they go and get beat by 3 touchdowns because of this, I think Ole Miss has missed a real valuable opportunity to not be Ole Miss, to not be a second-tier team in the Big 12 or in the SEC. So from just a selfish standpoint, I think they had as much to gain by letting him coach it out, and not to mention the loyalty to the kids. We're talking about the loyalty to the university, but the reality is these kids, most of them don't have loyalty to the university. They have loyalty to Lane Kiffin. They have loyalty to the money that's been put in their pocket. And I'm okay saying, listen, I'll admit this is what it is. I think we should ride this out. The players have earned that. They did pick us over these other schools, and they have the right to have their leader do that. Yes, I know that it's not as good for our program long term, but I think he's going to do the same thing whether you let him coach it or not. He's going to poach the players, he's going to coach the coaches, because that's what college football is right now. So I don't know. I believe a ton in loyalty. I basically base my friendships based solely on loyalty. I have people that used to be on this show. They're now not on this show, one in particular, because he wasn't loyal. I have friends that I do not allow in my life because they're not loyal. So I value loyalty, but in this world of college football, I just don't. I think it's being overplayed a little bit. So
I get that, and it's crazy that Ole Miss had the opportunity to, for the first time maybe ever, to not let their ego get in the way, and they did.
I have flashbacks to Oklahoma, and because I'm from here.
Sure.
But you think you're better than you are when you're in the middle of something. If you're an Ole Miss Rebel, you think you're better than you are. If you're an Oklahoma Sooner, you think you're better than you are. I try to admit this is who I am. Who do I want to be? Where can I try to achieve? And that's something I think Ole Miss missed the boat on here. They have the opportunity to be relevant late in the year. And, maybe give up a little bit by letting him stay, but I think they had a lot more to gain instead of this, we're Ole Miss, and if you're not against it, we're going to be that, whatever. You're a second tier. Ask anybody else around the country. You're a second-tier SEC team who maybe caught lightning in a bottle with a really good coach. We're going to find out. Maybe not, but maybe did. I think you had an opportunity to at least move that a little further down the line by letting the dude coach another month with the same bad things happening either way. So I don't know. FatJackSports.com. Get signed up. $49 for college, for NFL, 9 players. Props for only $49, or save money with those longer packages. Any final thoughts, Brandon?
Friday night's championship games, North Texas, Tulane, and UNLV Boise, are going to be better games than any of the, at least in terms of watchability, are going to be better games than any of the 5 on Saturday.
All right, I don't hate that take. We'll talk about it next week and see if you're right or not. I actually like UNLV. I think they've quietly had a really good year.
Dan Mullen's done a great job there, and I'm not going to be surprised if I'll be surprised if he's still the head coach at UNLV.
If he stays, they're going to need to come up with some money. They need some of that Formula One money to make its way over to campus.
Trickle its way over to Sam Boyd Stadium.
Yeah, because it's tough to keep somebody there. That's another one of those programs that's hard to. But are we going to freak out if he goes somewhere else? I don't think we will. I just think it's all interesting how we perceive things. Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy your championship week. Enjoy all the sports going on. Wager responsibly. Get into the holiday spirit. We're there. All right, let's get some momentum going. Until next week, I'll be back with you for another edition with Brandon Rush and the Fat Jack. This has been the Fat Jack Sports Hour.